Honestly, there will be nothing about bad and ugly. I just created this title to tease you come here and maybe the fans of Clint Eastwood movies, but there will be everything just about good behavior, good culture, and what to do. Everything to be good, so nothing about bad and ugly. Sorry for disappointing you in the beginning. So it's my pleasure, of course, to hold the speech here. This is my first big speech in Thailand. I'm very pleased for such an opportunity. And let me first introduce myself, because not so many people know here. Maybe the guys from U Combinator and the startup scene knows me a little bit, but in general, nobody knows me, unfortunately. So I've been doing product management since 2009, starting with startups and then moving to big corporations and companies in Russia. I started as a product analytics and ended my career in Russia as chief product officer of the leading streaming service. What we did was growing the subscription business. It's like Netflix, but the Russian version. So here are just some tiny results of our product team. Of course, it's not only about the product, but it's the content. 20 times growth in revenue in 5 years, 14 times growth in paying user base. This is actually a very tremendous result for the country that is not so well paying for the content. And also, of course, the active user base grows 3 times within 5 years. It is also a huge result, the biggest streaming service in Russia. How we did this? Of course, it's not only about the content, but content is the king on the streaming market. But you know, there are such terms as conversion rate, average bill, lifetime value, returning mechanisms. That will not happen only on content. We, of course, need to develop the product platform, the technology itself. And how we did this? I listed 4 numbers here. I haven't written down the key factors that I picked, just to make you listen to me carefully. So what are the points? First is the team. We will discuss it. The second is the goal that we have. The third is the mechanism, the processes that you have within your team. And the fourth is the attitude. So we will briefly, or maybe not briefly, discuss it all. I have some funny pictures, so please, I'm also very nervous, but please let's all relax and have fun during these 20 minutes. So let's move. The first very important thing is the team, the good team. As I understood, there are not so many product managers in the room, or there are the product managers. Who is the product manager here? Okay. Hello, I'm also product manager. Nice to meet you. Okay, all the rest have come here to understand product people better, right? And I think that it's the common circle how we see product managers, that they are experts in technology, in user experience. We discussed it. Rose, thank you very much for such a deep dive into this topic. Analytics, business, and a lot of other domains. He is the professional in everything. But the reality looks like this. Everything is on the fire, the project deadline are missing, all the stakeholders are not happy with the results. We are on fire all the time. And on top of that, there are personal peculiarities that you as a product leader need to count, that not all people are equal. Someone is better in analytics, someone is better in technology or project management. So the first insight from my first pillar is that you need to create such a structure with product branches where every person in your team fits a specific place, taking into account all the nuances of your product and the personal nuances. It's a very hard job to build such a structure, but it will work in a long run when everyone in your team knows your place. Okay, moving forward to the next pillar is the goal. By the way, do you see Jim Carrey, like Bruce the Powerful? What is the name for this movie in English? The thing is that the goal should be big, of course. What is more important, that this is the metrics tree, a very popular nowadays mechanism of seeing all the metrics that you have in a systematic approach in your product. So the thing is that every member of your team, product team, should know the metric that he's devoting to all his activities. And in that case, the system will work because everyone is on his specific place, knows the metric, knows the goal, and there is a very good proverb in the Russian language. I know that there are so many analogies in the other languages, but the ship that has no destination will arrive nowhere. That is what I think about the goal. If you don't know your goal, you will arrive nowhere. But the other important aspect of being a product person, a product leader, is that you should be like a Steve Jobs, always constantly evangelizing, visionarizing, motivating your team to remember the goal, where are we going, what are we doing, and your product people, and now I'm talking to the product people or the leaders, should also be like small Steve Jobs that are always remembering the team, what is our goal. That is, of course, very important. The other thing is the mechanism, the third pillar, the process that you have within your company. And traditionally, it looks like this. The big scheme. This is the true-to-life picture of the process that we had at our video streaming service in Russia. All the stages of product development, requirements, design, development, testing, requirements coordination, and all of that. We had a lot of processes, and it may seem very difficult that you have like 4 procedures for product planning, OKR strategy, monthly planning, weekly planning. You have a lot of sync mechanisms, one-on-one, weekly sync on the branch, and something like that. But only in that situation when everybody knows how the system works, even if so hard and complicated from the first glance, your product people will perform effectively because they know how to run. They are on a specific place that is devoted to them. They have the goal, and now they know how to run. They will run effectively. And one more thing that is important, this is the screenshot from the Friends series, is to celebrate the goals. To celebrate your wins publicly and transmit your results to all the team. It's pretty correlated with being Steve Jobs of your product. But the thing is that when you celebrate the win, it will come to reality, and your team knows that you have achieved one goal. It is not a problem to achieve the other one. So celebrate the wins, it's very important. So as you can understand, the role of a leader, the product leader, is also very important in all the situation. And why is that? Because the supervisor is like an example, a motivator for the whole team. You can be like a mom and dad to all your team, helping with the professional and maybe even personal issues, helping them all the time, listening to them on one-on-one or on some professional events. But that could be tiring. If you haven't watched the last serials, I highly recommend to do this. It's a TV Plus content, but it's amazing. So being a playing coach can be really tiring. And in that way, in that case, of course, we need partnership. What is the best partner for the product person? It's the business. So the thing is that if you have built trustful and long-lasting relationship with your business partners, that would be easy to move to the goals. And what should you do to do this? Of course, you should be as money and goal-oriented as your business partner, I mean the business development manager or someone in the cross-functional team. The thing is that product person, as we saw in the beginning of my presentation, is like a person who is wearing a lot of hats. So when you're talking to a business manager, you are like this wolf from Wall Street, also gaining about the money and what is our next goal. So the business people also need someone who they can trust, who can rely on, who is also very loyal and the person who can achieve the goals and be transparent if the results and the deadlines are missing. It's also very important for them. And let's discuss one of my favorite roles in the cross-functional teams, product teams, is the developers. By the way, are there developers in the room? Okay, Ted is the developer. Okay. So let's say you're a developer. What do you care most of all? Okay, so my answer is the code. The code and technologies, that's the thing most developers care about. They also care about consistency, professional approach, using tools, and be true to the facts. I think that developers are the least, the people who hate subjective facts, maybe the designers too, but developers do not like when you say like, oh, this is not good. They always request for the facts of your opinions. And that is also very important in terms of when you're trying to build the trustful relationship with the business or with the developers. So to sum up this section about business and technology, in order to succeed in such a cruel world of product development is to build trustful relationship within all the cross-functional team. And when you have the structure where everyone is on his place, the goal, everyone understands it, the mechanism how it works, and the relationship with your cross-functional team, you can do the sweetest thing. You can scale. We will briefly talk about it, how to do this in terms of when you have a very big product that exists for 15 years already, that is the leading service. You don't have lower, these fruits, this expression I always forget, lower holding fruits, you don't have them anymore. You have legacy, both technological and product, and you have the user behavior that they just stick to it. And when you change something, first your metrics go down, and then maybe they will grow up after the users will get used to your new interface. So the legacy is the thing that you first compete with. And the second thing is that when you already have a big user base, the thing that you need to take into account is long-term metrics. Because one more, Russian expression is that it's twice more pricey to reach a new customer than to retain the existing one. Of course, it's quite obvious, but this is the key to play with your user in the long run. How to do this? You need to dig deeper, because you have already tried all the hypotheses. You know all the Russian video streaming services. You know the evolvement of Netflix within the last 20 years. You should always think why they are doing this. What do users need? Where are the pain moments? What else can we do for them? And the answer is, this is the illustration of consistent and concise user flow, all the user paths that you have within your product. Because this is the only way how to make people understand, your users make understand, what are you doing with your product, what are the changes about. And the thing is that you should do the vivid and big changes, because if you change something on one screen, nobody will understand it. Your user path is so big that they will just not understand what you're trying to say to them. Let's look at the examples. It will be Netflix, because I think everyone is using it. So what are they doing? Of course, you know this personalization rows of recommendation. Here are the namings of them. It is not so difficult as we can understand. Behind that stands a lot of years of investigation, maths and technology development, R&D and all that. What is a part of that is that they always are evolving the user interface, and they are doing this on all the user journey, including the communication that is underestimated by a lot of products. And that can make a huge difference in the long run metrics. So what I'm saying here is that this news and hot tab bar is the cleverest decision I have ever seen in Netflix, because this is the way how they retain users for the next timing, for the next billing period, because they are showing the content that will be that is not on the platform now, but that will be released in a couple of times, and then they send you the email that the content has arrived. It's just amazing. Again, it may seem a little bit obvious for the ones who is not inside the cinema online video streaming service, but this is just genius. And one more example, very dramatic one, but still. The two interfaces on Netflix, 2010 and 2020. Drastic change, of course, 10 years has passed. But the thing is that even within the last 2 or 3 years, they have been changing mobile apps, smart TV and web dramatically, because they know that their user is staying at the product, and you cannot be the same 10 years, 2 years or 3 years. You should constantly evolve. Why is that? The attitude. So 2 points about the attitude toward product development. That you should be the maniac of quality control. This is the only thing how to compete everyone. You should control the product requirements, how the developers are doing this, how the testers are testing, especially in terms of user experience, because this is very important when you are trying to wow the user. Of course, here it's not a positive wow, it's just shock. It's not the thing that we need in the product development, but still, I ask you next time when you turn on Netflix and switching on the tab bars, just pay attention on how they are using animation, vibration, and sounds, even in such tiny details, like just switching the tabs in the app. So this is what I'm talking about, wowing user and playing in the long run with your users. So actually, this is all, a lot of content. If you want to dig somewhere deeper and discuss some details about product development, the team and all that I mentioned, please welcome to my LinkedIn online. It was my pleasure. Let's discuss and answer your questions. Who is using Netflix here? Or maybe other subscription services? Let's see, not so many hands. Is the Asian version, the Thailand version of something VOD or no? I think Netflix, right? Only Netflix.
Do we have a question? Yes.
Thank you very much. Really, really interesting. When you look at the AWS version of Netflix, right? The Amazon Prime service, the experience is far, far, far inferior to that of Netflix. Why do you think that is? Have they just not made the effort, or is there a strategic reason for that?
I think it all starts with the monetization model, because Amazon Prime is the transaction-based service. So they have content that you should pay first and then watch. And it means that their main goal is to convert to payment using, I think, all the infrastructure of Amazon that they have, like the e-commerce and all the other services. Netflix, on the contrary, is the service. You need first to convert the user into the subscription and then make the watching smooth and amazing. This is just the different tasks based on the business model that they have. Of course, Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken, also has the subscription model, but it's not so vivid as the Netflix one. So Netflix is purely about service and watching, and Amazon is about buying content one by one, mostly. This is the thing, this is the difference. But a very good question, thank you.
Another question.
Even though I have so many memes and jokes, nobody was laughing. We're so serious. How about this? I think it's very fun. Who are product people? This one, and this one. This is the life. The life of everyone in technology.
Hi, so thank you for the presentation. You gave an example of competitive analysis based on Netflix. Now being in Asia, are there any product inspirations that you would want to test on Ivy if you could go back?
It's a very good question. The thing is that I myself look functionally on all the products, like, can you help me reach my goal? And all the things about animation and these amazing effects is not so important for me now because I'm solving all my goals. In that case, I would suggest to look at Grab, because it has everything, like everything that you need in one button, delivering everything whenever you want. In terms of the things that I described, amazing UX, unfortunately, nothing stands so clear, so close to Netflix, because they have a big team. They are thinking. So this is what I was talking about, thinking deep. When you are thinking about the topic like 5 years in a row, you will go to these levels of understanding of building the interface where nobody exists, thinking of a product 1 year or something like that. That's happened when you constantly think about the subject. I think that in the whole world, if I can say so, there's not so many companies that can talk about themselves, like digging so deep as Netflix in their user experience of viewing, of course. So no examples, nothing to take, apart from being very functional like Grab. By the way, Thailand banking is just awful. All the apps, banking apps, are just...
There is one last question.
Yeah, hello?
As you said that Thailand banking apps are awful, what will you suggest to make it better?
It's very hard to think outside of the box when we're talking about such serious services like finance or insurance or something like that. But all the processes can be done simpler in terms of user experience and user flows within the app. So the flows are very complicated, too many buttons to tap. And the thing is that a lot of operations, sorry for linking to Russian background, but a lot of operations can be done without calling or going to the bank branch. Everything can be done online. This is the institutional change. I can completely understand how difficult it is, but it's possible. We see such examples in the neo-banking. So that would be nice if Thailand could do something like that. Like the expert says from the stage. Are you from bank?
No, but I have a banking app and I'm quite okay with it. I don't know why you said.
Okay, I can show you the Russian banking. It's just amazing, even now. Thank you for good questions. Have a great evening.
Thanks a lot, Saf. Thanks.